Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Got a hair in my mouth. Um, Whatever time of day it is that you're listening to this, I'm about to read my latest Substack post that I just finished up and published concerning the nuclear family. Let me go ahead and start sharing this. Let's see, let's make sure share. Make sure I'm sharing. Yes, I am. Oh, hey, I got some messages. Um, the collapse of the nuclear family, how government policies have harmed our youth, and how President Trump aims to fix it. By Sammy Squirrel. As a conservative, I believe one of the most pressing crises facing our society today is the erosion of the nuclear family and the traditional family values that once held our communities together. This breakdown, driven in large part by government overreach, starting with Lyndon B. Johnson's welfare programs, has forced fathers out of the household, leaving our youth vulnerable and our safety fractured. But there's hope. President Trump's policies have taken bold steps to reverse this damage and restore the nuclear family as the bedrock of a healthy, functioning America. What is the nuclear family and why is it so vital? The nuclear family, a mother, a father, and their children living under one roof, has been the cornerstone of Western civilization for centuries. It's not just a sentimental tradition, it's a proven structure for raising strong, capable individuals. Within this unit, children learn critical values, responsibility, respect, discipline, and the dignity of hard work. Fathers provide strength, leadership, and moral guidance, while mothers offer nurturing and emotional stability. Together, they create a balanced environment where kids can thrive. The data backs this up. Studies from organizations like the Heritage Foundation show that children raised in intact nuclear families are, now everything in red is a hyperlink, less likely to drop out of school, less likely to turn to crime or substance abuse, more likely to achieve economic independence. Why does this matter? Because strong families produce self reliant citizens who build strong communities. When the nuclear family thrives, society thrives. Crime drops, schools improve, and the economy grows. Traditional family values rooted in faith and personal responsibility aren't just nice ideals, they're essential for a functioning society. How LBJ's welfare program started all this mess. The decline of the nuclear family didn't happen by accident. It was turbocharged by Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society welfare programs in the 1960s. These initiatives, sold as a solution to poverty, ended up incentivizing the very breakdown they claimed to prevent, especially in minority communities. Here's how it happened. LBJ's welfare system often tied benefits to the absence of a father in the home. If a mother was married or living with a partner, her aid could be reduced or cut entirely. This created a perverse financial incentive for women to stay single or push fathers out of the picture. The result? A devastating rise in fatherless homes. In African American communities, for instance, the percentage of children born to unmarried mothers jumped from about 20% in the 1960s to over 70% today. This wasn't just a policy misstep, it was a disaster. Fathers are irreplaceable. Without them, children, especially boys, are more likely to grow up in poverty, get tangled up in crime, or struggle in school. The welfare state stepped in as a substitute provider, but it couldn't replace the stability and guidance of a two-parent home. Instead, it trapped generations in a cycle of dependency, stripping away the self-sufficiency it promised to protect. The fallout: a generation left adrift. The consequences of this family breakdown are stark and undeniable. Fatherless homes are linked to higher crime rates. Young men without fathers are disproportionately involved in violent crime and incarceration. Educational failure. Kids from single parent homes are twice as likely to drop out of high school. Economic stagnation. Poverty rates soar when families fracture, feeding the need for more government intervention. A vicious circle, y'all. It's a vicious circle. This isn't just a personal tragedy, it's a societal collapse. Communities with high rates of fatherless homes become breeding grounds for despair, dysfunction, and decay. When the family unit crumbles, the government grows, stepping in to fill a void it can't truly fix. That's not freedom. That's not progress. That's a slow march towards decline. And we've been marching for a couple of decades now. The other side and why it misses the point. Critics might say the nuclear family is outdated, pointing to single parent households or non-traditional setups as proof that society has evolved. Others defend welfare, arguing it's a lifeline for struggling families, especially single moms. Fair enough. I get it. Fair enough. Life is messy, and not every family fits the mold, but the data doesn't lie. Kids raised by a married mother and father consistently do better across every measurable outcome. Welfare isn't the enemy, its design is. Conservatives don't want to abandon the needy. We want a system that lifts people up, not one that punishes marriage and rewards dependency. The goal isn't to shame single parents, it's to rebuild a structure that gives every child the best shot at success. President Trump's plan to turn the tide. President Trump recognized this crisis and took action to strengthen the nuclear family. His policies weren't just about economics. They were about restoring the conditions for families to flourish. Here's how. Jobs, not handouts. President Trump's tax cuts and deregulation slashed unemployment to historic lows, especially for minorities. When parents can work and provide, families stay together. Economic independence reduces the strain that drives fathers away. Welfare that works. President Trump pushed for reforms requiring able-bodied adults to work or train for jobs to receive benefits. This wasn't about cruelty, as the mainstream media claims. It was about dignity. By breaking the dependency cycle, he aimed to make families whole again. School choice. President Trump championed education reforms that let parents pick better schools for their kids. Stronger education means stronger kids, which means stronger families, regardless of income. Pro-family tax relief. The expanded child tax credit put more money in parents' pockets, easing the financial burden on two-parent homes and encouraging family stability. Fatherhood matters. President Trump's administration backed incentives to promote responsible fatherhood, acknowledging that dads aren't optional, they're essential. The road ahead. The nuclear family's decline, sparked by LBJ's welfare mess, has left our youth adrift, our communities broken, and our society weaker. But it's not too late. President Trump's policies show us a path forward. Less government, more opportunity, and a renewed focus on the family unit. The nuclear family isn't a relic, it's our foundation. It's time we fight to bring it back to our kids and our country. Depend on it and deserve better. I was hesitant on putting that very last part in. That's why I kind of freaked out on it right there at the end. Just didn't sound right to me. It didn't sound like me, that very last sentence. It's also it was weird for me to read. See, we're at 10 minutes. We're right around my time that I like to be at, between 10 and 15 minutes long. That way, I read in many papers I've read that says, people's attention span is about 10 to 15 minutes nowadays. So that's where I try to keep my videos and posts at, around a 10 to a 15-minute read or video, depending. But anyways, old Joe's calmed back down finally, thank God. And hopefully he'll be all right for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. I don't know what happened to him. He just went nuts for some crazy reason. Anyways, y'all have a good day. Blessed. Oh, thank you to my paid subscribers. Y'all are awesome. I put everything out for free. Everybody can read it. If you would, please like, share, and repost if you agree with my work. I try to remain neutral. I try to deliver nothing but the facts as I found out, and I think I'm doing a good job. I mean, I haven't been getting any strikes or warnings or labels or anything on any of my posts here on YouTube. So apparently, I'm staying within the boundaries that YouTube prescribes. And believe me, it's not easy. It's not easy. Okay, well, I'm going to end this here. Y'all have a great and blessed day. Bye.